Greetings, friends. It's a very cold morning here at our house, and we could not have finished this major winter project a moment too soon because I think the weather's going to turn for us. I just want to do a quick video lap around the grounds and show you what we've changed, and then at the end of this video I'll do a time-lapse photography of the changes that we did so you can see where we were at beforehand. Alright, let's start with the front yard. Doesn't look very exciting, but here we have our first persimmon tree that we planted, and that gets full sun, and that's going to be really nice. I took a bunch of plants out of there to open up some sunshine for it. Across the way here we have a currant that looks like it's now frozen, and I hope that it'll be okay. We did back here transplanted in some ferns back there. There's some salal berries there, and here we have our first elderberry. Elderberries are delicious if you've never had them, and another currant. Another persimmon tree there. It's a hachia persimmon. So that gets full sun there. That's going to be really great. And this is basically, we cleared this all out earlier. If you haven't seen the other update videos for the front orchard, and as the trees come in, we'll actually start to thin out some of this other stuff. But we plan on getting 20 or 30 trees in the spring. And then here, if you missed the last update, are 2 new cherry trees, cross-pollinators. We have a Bing cherry tree and a Stella. Let's take a look at the back, which is where most of the work happened. Okay, so starting with the back, you can see I made a bunch of compost rounds here. This is my acidic compost for blueberries, because blueberries like acidic soil. So I get ground up orange peels and pine needles and coffee grounds and that sort of thing. Then we've got hot compost here, food and greens, cold, just leaves, cold. And then these two are fully cooking with hot compost. And so that's 5 rounds. That's pretty good. That's going to give me some good material for the raised beds this spring. Then I've got some wood down here that are going to go into my raised beds to feed up nutrients. I guess they call it hagelculture. I'm probably not saying that right, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So there you got that. And then I started planting some of these gold leaves to create shields and, just look good, covering the empty spaces and give the property a little boundary. I planted these over here too, some more. A little just random green shrubbery I planted back here. Now, just bring you over here. This is what's left of the compost and branches and logs that was back here, and this is the neighbor's part, so we didn't really want to mess with this too much. They're selling their house, and then we're just going to kind of see what the new neighbors are up to, but I'll probably work through this pile at some point too and end up using it for my future gardening and raised beds, because that's a lot of good raw material that just needs to be ground up and composted properly. So we left that there, and we just planted this here, and these will grow up to high shrubs, probably like 6 to 8 foot shrubs, so this can just kind of be tucked away, not really seen. And then let me show you, you saw that compost, this entire expanse all the way over there was nothing but logs, branches, construction, lots of construction garbage. I dragged out a lot of construction garbage and had to pay a lot of fines to have that stuff hauled away. But we leveled it all out, we wood chipped, and we've got this huge area back here that's just fresh and ready to be made new into a little forest. So here's what we did with a lot of the logs and branches. We made this natural fence, you can see here, and let's just take a look at it. These logs will get covered with moss really soon, and they're gonna look really cool and picturesque. Very northwest look to them. So we did that all along the line. These trees you're seeing in the view, I'm going to plug with mushrooms. So in the spring I'll come out here, hopefully in the spring, maybe in the fall, we'll see. Pardon me, bore them out and get some mushroom spores in there so we can just come back here and pick mushrooms. It's going to be really cool. Okay, let's look at what we replanted. So we replanted tons and tons back here, and there's probably more to come for sure, but I'm out of time and I'm out of money, so this is what we got so far. This area back here gets a little bit of sun, partial sun, lots of shade, so this is going to be predominantly the berry section. Here we have one huckleberry, and that one's probably going to be a big producer because it's going to get more sun there. Back here, it's kind of hard to see in the viewfinder because there's no leaves, but you'll get the idea. There's one currant, blueberry, 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 and Oregon grape, and that's a really good medicinal plant that's native to the Northwest, and you can use the berries for various things. So that's going to be our hedge, sort of defining the space. Then we've got some mixed matched local things here, some ferns and some ground cover here, this random little bush. Here we have another currant and another huckleberry. So that's going to be a really nice hedge of berries there. Then across the way here we got another currant. Let's come up here. Some rosemary. And then you can see looking down we made like a nice fire pit area. Let's walk down there, shall we? Let's see, I planted in these cedars and this pine and these ferns here, and that's just going to make a nice little deciduous patch there. We'll probably put a couple of more red cedars in here and you know, make like a nice little forest back here, give it a very foresty feel. Okay, coming into the fire pit section, I've got some different biodiversity, different species of ferns going here. Some salal berries back there, and those are a berry that the natives here relied on, and they're very delicious and prolific, and so that's going to be nice to have. A little bit of random ground cover bush here, I don't know what the species is, just put it in for extra diversity. Here we have a cypress golden mop, and those grow really big and look very Zen garden-like, so they'll flow, cascade over this area here. Some more salal berries behind that, a little bit of heather, some ferns, another golden mop, and then you see a huckleberry back there. There's another one. Transplanted this huge fern, and you kind of get the picture here. We got another heather, some more ground cover, just spread around, heather, another golden mop, little fern action, and you can see, let me try to get a better view. All of this is just going to cover this little berm that I created here, and you'll see at the end of this video that this was a big, huge empty space, and I put logs in there and I created a natural retaining wall and then covered it back up with dirt, and now we're replanting, and this is going to be amazing once it gets rolling. Here we've got another couple different types of ferns and another huckleberry and another Oregon grape and some more random transplants, another bush here just to keep the biodiversity going. And then we're doing more of the gold leaves over here, and over here to create a little privacy screening. So there's that section, and I'll tell you what, this was a lot of work. You see all this wood here, that was some of the logs we pulled out. We chopped that wood. Here's an example of some of the logs that we found underneath the rubble, and we just kept these ones for seeding. We're actually going to chop these last few up, but we haven't got to it. But the big ones we're going to do for seeding. Pretty cool project. This was a lot of man hours. This took me and other people nearly a month to complete, and that's working almost every day. So it was maybe not quite a month, maybe 3 weeks. I did not show you this part back here, but this is also cool. This is sort of the egress area to the trail running we have back here, and so this is where I started the berry patch. I've got raspberries. I know you can't see that very well, but trust me, they're there. Raspberries, boysenberries. Oh, there's another raspberry right there. Probably just looks like sticks in this video shot, and then there's another raspberry there. So this is going to be the briar berry patch, and when the weather gets good, I'll go into the forest behind us and find where the thimbleberries are and bring some thimbleberries in here too. But I tried to do nothing that would go crazy and get into those other berries up there. So, but this is going to be yeah, the pricker berry patch. So that's it. That's this project. I just wanted to share it with you and to show that when you have a vision and you put in your hard work, that you can totally transform whatever property you get really fast, and you can make the food forest happen. It's pretty easy. And you know, in a couple years I'm going to be having a lot of berries. This summer and spring I'm going to get even more berries back here, more huckleberries, more currants, more maybe some gooseberries because they're shade tolerant, and more raspberries and boysenberries, and this whole area back here is just going to be berry-geddon. So thanks for checking this out, and I hope you're all well, and I just want to encourage you all to make your properties your own Garden of Eden, your own food forest, and the more food you can produce where you're at, whether it's planted or in pots or in your windowsills, is less stress that we're putting on our environment by shipping things around. So try to grow your own food, people. All right.